Yo, what it do? It's your boys Juice and Loon. We back here with another episode for y'all. We got the basketball talks. Now we got a very special guest with us. First ever guest on the video podcast. Give a warm welcome into my man's Austin. He watches just as much basketball, maybe even more basketball than us. I don't know. So he knows his stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's hop into it. Jay Lou, start us off.
Okay, yep. Like you said, have Austin on the show. Austin Slack, good friend of ours. But
Sir.
back with the basketball talks. First question we got today, continuing from what Justin was talking about on the previous podcast to end off, talking about LeBron right now and his Lakers. They're sliding in the standings a little bit without AD, which brought up a question from Justin. Does LeBron need a super team to win in the NBA? You could say finals, I guess, or just win in general. But does LeBron need a super team to win in the NBA? How do you feel about that, Austin?
Well, I kind of got two answers for this question. Now, if you want to go and talk about the regular season, I think no, LeBron doesn't need a super team to win in the regular season. And the reasoning behind that is because LeBron's been in the NBA for 17 years now, right? I'm pretty sure it's 17. Out of those 17 years, only 5 times has LeBron ever posted below 50 wins in a season with any team he's been with. And I believe 2 of those were his first 2 seasons with the Cavs. One was the Lakers, his first year with them, and I believe the other 2 were with the Heat, being in 2010. And I want to say it was 2011 as well, when they won the first championship. So in the regular season, I don't think LeBron needs a super team to win. But when you come to the playoffs, I think LeBron needs all the help he can get in order to have any success in the finals. Not maybe so much the first and second rounds, because LeBron. He's been to 10 finals throughout his career. He doesn't need help to win in the playoffs themselves. But in the finals, yes. Now, let me tell you why. He made his first finals in the 06-07 season. And that's about the one exception I could say. The only person he had really there, aside from a couple veterans and a couple young guys, is he had Big Z Ilgauskas, who was the only other person on that team, in my opinion, that really gave him any types of consistent help. They made the playoffs. They made the finals. They got swept by the Spurs. It was either swept or 4-1. I can't remember off the top of my head. After that, he goes to Miami. They lose their first finals against the Mavericks. They had Bosh. They had Wade. He didn't win that. So even with all that help, he didn't win. And then finally, they have the 2 years in a row where they do win with Bosh. They had Wade. They had some good veterans and people like Mike Miller. Udonis Haslem provided good defense and rebounding off the bench. They didn't have great point guard play, but like I said, LeBron's never needed good point guard play to have any type of success. Even with Kyrie and the Cavs, he didn't need good point guard play. He just needs other good players around him.
Right.
Then we get to the Cavs, where they didn't win in the finals every single time they went. They won in 2016 when they came back down 3-1. But you got to remember, he had Kyrie, he had Kevin Love. Tristan Thompson wasn't, in my opinion, a complete scrub yet. They had some solid play off the bench. Kyle Korver providing really good shooting. People like that. He needs all the help he can get. And then the Lakers, they win the finals. Me personally, people say he's 4-7. I'm one of those people that says he's 3-6-1. That finals in the bubble, there's a lot of outliers. I don't think they would have won the finals if it wasn't for the bubble. I think the bubble threw a lot of things off, and with LeBron and AD being them, arguably the 2 best players in the NBA when healthy, how weren't they going to win? Especially when they get matched up. And no disrespect to you, Justin, with the Heat, and the Heat played a great series, even though they lost. The Heat didn't really have a shot at beating them, especially with them both being healthy. So with him being 3-6-1, in my opinion, 4-7, whatever you want to say, he needs help in the finals as much as he can get, because even when he has all that help, he still can't win at a consistent rate.
Hmm. I agree
Go
for
ahead,
sure.
Justin.
It's like I agree for sure. Yeah, we really never had a chance, even with an injured AD. I guess you could say he was 100%. We still got beat on. So I mean, there's not much really we can do. But yes, I do believe LeBron does need uh, a super team to be successful. We saw what happened before AD went to LA. Yeah, I guess you could bring up the 17. He was out for 17 games, and he was they were like third in the West or whatever they were. They were in playoff contention before he got hurt, I guess you could say. But let's be real here. They made the playoffs. Are they going anywhere? No, I doubt that. I doubt he's taking them anywhere. Um, yeah, I do believe that. Everything Austin said is just like. Speaking of that first finals in Miami against Dallas, LeBron probably played the worst on that team that year. So if you take away Kyrie's shot, take away Ray Allen's shot, say they both miss those, I'd say the Warriors win that game in Game 7, and the Spurs obviously they win that in 6. So that would take away his ring. He'd have like two. He'd be like 2-8 in the finals. That's tough. That would be a big dent in his legacy. Now, the Lakers without AD, the past 10 games they're 3-7. It shows a lot, and they're going down in the standings. The Clippers, they're 1 game behind them. The Trailblazers are 3 games behind them. Dame is getting hot, so they're about to start winning games, especially after the All-Star game yesterday. Like, let's be real here. And then the Nuggets are coming up too. They're on a 4-game win streak. So it's pretty likely the Lakers could fall. And if the playoffs started, they'd be in trouble. And I think when the playoffs start in AD, I feel like he's not gonna be 100% come playoff time. And I don't think that they're gonna go back to the finals. I don't think they're gonna go back to the
Okay.
finals.
Okay. Y'all have some interesting points. First, before I tackle does LeBron need a super team? I wanna dive in like what would be a super team. So what I think is a super team be 3 or more All Stars in their prime years. You really haven't seen that since the creation of it. I'll probably say was the '08 Celtics. I can't count Jordan, the
Mm,
Bulls, Rodman. In my opinion, he wasn't prime Pistons Rodman. He was still good though, but he wasn't as good as Detroit. Yeah, Lakers, Showtime. Kareem was older to me, but in Milwaukee, he was giving you 30 and 20 on a daily basis. They had Magic, they had Byron Scott, they had James Worthy. They still had great players around Magic. So I can't classify them as a super team. Yeah, Larry Bird Celtics. Can't classify them either as a super team. Just Larry Bird. He was really the MVP caliber player. Kevin McHale was a solid post big man. Robert Parrish, he was a great defensive anchor, but not an all-star in my opinion. Dennis Johnson, great point guard, defender point guard at least.
mhm.
So those teams people could say, think are super teams. I don't think so myself. I think it real started with the '08 Celtics because of how they had Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett coming off an MVP, I think it was 3 or 2 years later he joined the Celtics after winning that MVP. So those collective guys started really the super team. Then LeBron, what he did with Miami, that's a super team. Chris Bosh, straight out of Toronto. D Wade was still balling in Miami. So then we had KD make super team. But does LeBron need a super team to win? To answer the question, I'd have to disagree. You can say what you want, but I don't think he needs a super team to win. '07 Cavs, Austin brought up. Gauskas probably was his only reliable help. Mo Williams would give you some games. Larry Hughes. But like you said, Ilgauskas, I mean, they played the '07 Spurs. They really didn't have a chance that year. Tim Duncan played great through the whole playoffs. Tony Parker as well, who killed them, actually got finals MVP that series. So moving on, like you said, the Mavericks finals, that was a disappointment. But usually when LeBron's teams are built together, their first run, they never win. They never win a title when they're built together, which is facts. So moving on to 2012, they beat us, the Thunder. We had young team. That you can say is a super team, that LeBron Heat team. So what is he? He's 1-2 now in the finals. Then moving on to the Spurs, super team. D Wade was showing signs of the regression. Well, regression, my bad. And the Spurs go around. Ray Allen, he was a spot up corner shooter for LeBron's team. Mario Chalmers, like you said, never was really solid point guard in Miami, as well as Norris Cole. Then you had Chris Bosh and LeBron. So that team was pretty good, but LeBron, he really made that team what it was, because without him, they probably barely make playoffs that year, just because of the season he had in 2013. So they won, of course. We know Ray Allen shot. Then he comes back next year. Like I said, D-Wade started to regress. This 2014 Heat team, though, I can't really classify that as a super team. Going off base, like I said, 3 All-Stars. I can't really call the 2014 Heat a super team anymore. They still were good players, but I don't think they were a super team. Chris Bosh, LeBron, D-Wade. They played the Spurs again. They got mollywopped in 5. Then, like you said, went back to Cleveland. Lost Kevin Love and Kyrie. We know the injuries. He wasn't supposed to win, so of course they lost the Warriors. I think it was in 6 that time. Yeah, he lost in 6. Iggy got Finals MVP. Next year, 2016. This one, I'd probably say this was where this is probably where that question arose. Because people didn't want to give him his credit because, people know the Draymond stimulus package where he got suspended. Andrew Bogut got hurt. Andre Iguodala, he was banged up too. But LeBron, he still won. They still won. They still won it. So you got to give it to him. But I think this finals was where the super team question probably came into play, just because of Kyrie doing that crazy shot he made over Steph Curry. So then moving on to 2017, 2018, we know what happened. KD joined the Warriors. Possibly, if anybody beat them, that would probably be the biggest upset in sports history. Moving on, 2019, LeBron got hurt. 2020, like you said, I agree with the 2020 point Austin made, where I don't think LeBron and the Lakers win in a bubble fashion. I think it would be much more challenging. But I did that season. I did pick the Lakers to win last year before the season started. So it's kind of contradicting myself. It's just throughout the season, it looked like the Clippers, if they ever matched up, it could be scary. But, Clippers didn't pull through on their side. So gave LeBron and AD a pretty easy road to the finals that year. But in my opinion, I probably agree with Austin's points a little bit about he needs the regular season team, a super team to win in the finals settings most of the time. But to win in general, I can't say LeBron needs a super team.
All right. Okay. I mean, I guess. All right. Moving on.
That doesn't sit well with you.
LeBron's a great player. He's a great player, but it's like there was only a couple times where I looked at him and said, okay, he did it by himself. Like a couple times. The rest of the time, AD did it last year. AD should have got Finals MVP, in my opinion. AD should have got it.
Nah.
Like I said, take Kyrie and Ray Allen's shot away. Is LeBron still second best of all time, or best of all time to people?
Be
No.
tough.
No.
I mean, that's the knock on him now.
He just doesn't win enough when it counts. That's why people who are MJ stans or Kobe stans like myself will point out that he's 3-6-1 or 4-7, whatever you want to say. Like I said,
He just doesn't get it done unless he gets bailed out.
Ray Allen shot. His chase down block, which was him, which I'll give him his credit for, but that
Right.
chase down block then led to Kyrie's shot, which sealed the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets consistently bailed out.
And
That's one of the issues with me
and
liking LeBron. I'm doing wrong.
he is a great player. He is definitely up there, top 5. It's not
Disputable.
Yeah.
It's just where you want to
put him in there. You want to put him in the top 3. Me personally, no. But
if he would win more in the finals, I don't think there'd be anywhere near
as much of a controversy when it came to LeBron James's name.
Facts.
Yo, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, turn post notifications on so you know when we post next. All right, peace.